Are you ready to dive deep into past nonsense, otherwise known as Great American Bash 2000?
You're damn right.
Tonight,
Oh, boy.
The Great American Bash will make history.
Oh, sure will.
Battled his son, David Flair, in the most important match of his lifetime.
If I lose to you, I will retire from this business for the rest of my life.
For the rest of his life?
The only way out is to say,
That was a lie.
I'm gonna get crazy in the asylum.
Find out if it's
Oh, yeah.
stepping stone to the world title or the last match of his career.
Billy Kidman is gonna
2 retirement matches.
sacrifice.
Kevin Nash and Jeff Jarrett will
Sacrifice.
face off for the world title. Flames will be ignited in the most bizarre match imaginable.
Not bizarre.
Only the sinners are going to burn in hell.
In a Human Torch match,
Oh, my God.
the only way to win is to set
We got
the
religious?
on fire. And now, WCW presents Great American Bash, brought to you by Castrol GTX.
Brought to you by Castrol GTX.
Castrol GTX had their name attached to this show. Man, that's rough. But, impressions, right? Impressions. But that was the intro to the Great American Bash, which took place on June 11th, 2000. This was the 10th and final Great American Bash under the WCW banner. So in a lot of ways, this felt like the real final true Great American Bash in my eyes. I mean, I know WWE ran it on the main roster back in the day, mid-2000s, and of course they still use it in NXT, but it's not the same. Great American Bash was a WCW show, major show, not just another show to throw out there, and not just a show for the developmental talent. It was a big show back in the day. Good summer show. Great American Bash. Started off, obviously, as a tour, stadium tour, and then now it's an NXT premium live event. But this particular show emanated from Baltimore, Maryland, the Baltimore Arena, to be exact, in Baltimore, Maryland. The arena now is known as the CFG Bank Arena, in case you were wondering. It has been home to numerous Baltimore sports teams over the years, including the NBA's Baltimore Bullets.
What?
I don't know if you knew that. Yeah, the Baltimore Bullets. And, of course, the Arena Football League's Baltimore Brigade. Just in case you wanted that arena football knowledge out there.
NBA team, the one that became the Washington Bullets eventually?
Yes.
Okay.
And then now they are the Washington Wizards.
Gotcha.
But the building itself was originally opened back in 1962 and reopened, had a grand reopening in 2023, according to his website. Yeah, it's an old building, so they had to redo it. But this building, for as old as it is, has a long, rich, and often overlooked history in pro wrestling. It hosted numerous, and I mean numerous, WWF shows and NWA shows dating back to the 1960s. Baltimore, I think, gets overlooked as a major wrestling city, especially here in the Northeast. When people talk about wrestling towns in the Northeast, you hear New York, you hear Philly, you hear Boston, D.C. Don't hear too much about Baltimore, but we're going to give Baltimore their flowers. Yeah. It's more than just the home of the Wire and the Ravens and the Orioles, right? And great seafood. It's also home to a rich, rich wrestling history that should be celebrated. Let's talk about Baltimore and its wrestling history for once. So, yeah, shout out to Baltimore. Shout out to B-More, as they call it. Even though, that sounded real corny. But, I'm just trying to be nice here, people. Trying to be cordial to Baltimore. By the late 1980s, though, Baltimore essentially became the home of the Great American Bash. Baltimore hosted every single Great American Bash from 1988 through 1991, and then hosted the event 4 more times in the late 1990s, totaling 8 times that the city hosted the event. 8 times. Because when you think the Great American Bash, we're going to Baltimore over and over and over again. Let's do it. Why WCW love Baltimore in the summertime? I don't know. But it was tradition, and Baltimore is a nice city. I was there last summer, actually, hanging out a little bit, and it was a good time. So shout out to Baltimore.
Went there before?
Yeah, it's not that far. It's only like, maybe 2.5 hours
The
south?
only thing I still haven't done is gone to Camden Yards, so that's on the bucket
same.
list, so.
Yeah, that would be a good ballpark to get to on a summer day. Get some seafood, go to Camden Yards. That sounds like a good time. But we are here. I skipped ahead of my notes a little bit. Excuse me. Again, this was the final Great American Bash in Baltimore. And there was no Great American Bash in 2001 because WCW is out of business. And when you watch this show, you'll see why. But we're in 2000, and where are we in the summer of 2000? Well, it's hot outside, and it's hot as ever in WWF, not in WCW. It was WWF was on fire. All right, they're going into, I believe, King of the Ring.
King of the Ring.
Where they have it's an overbooked mess, but then they have, what was it? It was a triple threat match of some sort. What was it? Where it was a six-man. It was a six-man where it was The Rock, Kane, and Undertaker going against Triple H, Shane, and Vince, and the title was on the line. The WWF Championship was on the line. And whoever pinned, let's say if The Rock's team won, whoever got the pin would become champion. And wouldn't you know, The Rock pinned, I think, Vince to become WWF champion. So
you would think that's a Vince Russo booking.
No, it's Vince McMahon. And as preposterous as that sounded, and this show also featured a evening gown match with Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe. So WWE wasn't doing much better as far as like tasteful television. However, they were selling a lot more tickets, getting a lot more ratings than WCW at this time. Because, WCW is still around, but the company's aura, as the kids say, was long gone.
Yeah.
Long gone.
We were at the point where we didn't want WCW to be around. And obviously, as a kid, I'm just like, it's too much. And I'm taping Nitros and Thunders every week, and I'm like, it's too much to waste tape on these shitty shows.
Man, wow, wasting tape.
I just don't want to do that anymore. So I'm like, please just go away. And obviously, like, you grow up and you appreciate that time you had with another huge wrestling company that, is allowing wrestling talent to make living. And it's just like, man, I guess I kind of wish it went differently. But in this time period, I was coming out of my freshman year of high school, and I was just like, this sucks. Compared to 96, 97, and even some parts of 98 WCW, it was so embarrassing for me to watch this product on Nitro and Thunder. I didn't order any of the pay-per-views in the 2000, and I'm just like, at least WWF was keeping me interested, and obviously they were doing things that I didn't like. Not everything I liked on WWF TV at the time, but again, 2000 was one of their best years ever because they were still having great shows. And let's just talk about King of the Ring instead.
No, we had Great American Bash, baby. We had Great American Bash in 2000, which means Vince Russo has the book, and you know what that means? Shenanigans are afoot. Shenanigans are afoot. At every turn in this show. But where are we in WCW?
Even the shenanigans had shenanigans.
Oh, it was shenanigans on top of shenanigans. There's so much. But at WCW at this time, we got the roster essentially split into two factions. The veterans, otherwise known as the Millionaires Club, because, that's probably accurate. Depending on who was in that group, they were legit millionaires. And then the new guys, so fresh faces, known as the New Blood. And this was, an attempt to, freshen up the stuff a little bit and get some new faces in there and have an uprising, I guess, of sorts, whatever. But, early in the year, Bischoff and Vince Russo kind of hit the reset button on WCW and took all the titles away from everybody and started over again. But in theory, the story isn't necessarily bad. I don't think it's a terrible story to do like the old guys versus the new guys, the old guys versus the young upstarts. You want to take the spots that the old guys have been hogging up for years and years, which was the case in WCW. There was a lot of reality to that. However, because of who was running the show, it was all over the place. And they really messed it up by making one major mistake, in my opinion. And that was because the old millionaires clinging to their spots from years ago were portrayed as the good guys. While the young, hungry set of upstarts looking to inject new energy into the business, they were the bad guys? We're rooting. If there's one thing people love to do, is they love loving on some rich folks. Like, who's going to look out for the millionaires and the billionaires? Oh, I'm so worried about them, even though they don't care about me. But, who's going to look out for the rich folks? That's pretty much what happened here. And it's like, these guys that were stars and this old guard, You still love them? Well, these new guys want to take their spot, and those new guys suck. So they're not good enough. Even though Ric Flair is almost 50, and Hulk Hogan's almost 50, and Sting is over 40, and DDP is over 40, and Kevin Nash is nearing 40. No. You want those same guys. So remember when TNA kind of ran the same thing years later with the Main Event Mafia and the TNA Originals? But the thing was that they ran it where the TNA Originals, the young guys, were the good guys, and the old guys were the bad guys. They were the old rich guys clinging to the spot still.
ECW did that. WWE ECW did that. The New Breed, remember that?
Why are we talking about
Versus
that?
the ECW originals? Like, come on.
They had that big blow off at WrestleMania, right? When they had like a 8-man tag or something like that. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Breed. Like, that's so funny.
It's bad. It's real bad. But also, if you're like Vince Russo and Eric Bischoff and they run the show and they're leading the new blood.
Why is Eric Bischoff leading the new blood, by the way?
Well, that's
gray
fair.
hair.
But I guess he could say, I'm done with these old guys. I'm done with these rich, entitled, spoiled.
It should be Vince versus Eric. And
he
Eric
probably should. It probably should be the case, right? Because it would make sense. Eric Bischoff led those guys.
But they got to swerve, bro.
But if you're those two, what's the incentive to keep any of the high price vets?
Right.
Like, you could just release them. You could tell them to make pay cuts. Or to take pay cuts, I should say. Say, hey, Rick, you're making $1.5 million. How about $750,000? This happens in sports all the time. And if they don't take the pay cut, you cut them. That happens in football every year. They're called salary cap casualties. Okay? But you can cut them. You can make them take pay cuts and then build around the younger stars. But no, because this is wrestling, there has to be a power struggle. And it's just too easy to just fire the old guys. You got to beat them and then make them retire.
Yeah, they got ironclad contracts, and they take huge buyouts if you fire them. So that's the wrestling, logic behind it.
So we have to put 2 retirement matches on the same show to get rid of them. And if they win, we don't get rid of them. But if they lose, then the contract still is in place, I guess, but they go away. I don't know. Just get rid of them. You're going to pay them anyway.
Which, by the way, those 2 people in those retirement matches won't be there a month after that.
Oh, Lord. Well, look at that. They retired anyway. I guess Vince Russo got what he wanted at the end of the day. But what else do we have? We've got such big names, such as Lieutenant Loco, G.I. Bro, Chronic with a K, 2 Ks exactly.
Which they messed up the Chiron on that.
Yes, they did. They put a C at the end. And I was like, what y'all doing? You can't even spell the name wrong right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to spell it wrong, at least spell it wrong correctly.
Right.
Like, Mortal Kombat, they use a K for a C all the time.
Right.
That K is there all the time. It's consistent, okay? You collect coins with a K, okay, in Mortal Kombat, all right? No C's allowed, all right? So how do we get here with WCW, where they still get it wrong, even though it's wrong? You're supposed to be right, but it's wrong? Oh. You can't even do the wrong thing right.
I did a double take because it was so quick, too. It was up for like a second. And then so I rewound it just to make sure I saw it correctly. And I'm like, are we serious
you saw
here?
it right.
Like,
K-
I should have kept a tally of the mistakes, but I did not because it was for my sanity.
For one, chronic, for like chronic back pain and stuff like that, is spelled CHRONIC. Chronic, the tag team, was supposed to be spelled KRONIK. So booking it with K's, WCW put a C at the end of that because it's like we want some type of normalcy here. I don't know. But who else is here? We got David Flair, along with Ric Flair, and even Vampiro is here, or Vampiro, as the one guy said that one time when he's impersonating Jim Ross. Ed Ferrara, I think that was. Oh yeah, Vampiro. But he actually was Vampiro on this night. He set somebody on fire. But
wasn't
on
Sting,
this, yeah. But also on the show, we got a boot camp match, an ambulance match, and an asylum match that turned into a handicap match. And we have a Human Torch match, not an Inferno match, because what's that? What's an Inferno match? We never heard of that before. Setting somebody on fire, that's never been done in wrestling except 2 years ago in WWF. it's a Human Torch match where the objective is to still set your opponent on fire, but it's a torch that you do it with, not just fire that's around the ring. But all of that means, for one, I almost forgot. We got not one, but 2 retirement matches all on one show. And if this show sounds like a doozy on paper, trust me, if you watch it, it will not disappoint. We kind of already talked about where we were as fans at this point. We were both watching. I was watching a lot of WCW at this point. I would flip whenever WWF went to commercial. I would flip to WCW and see what they were doing.
Yeah.
And I think they sometimes they would start early too, because they would go 3 hours. They were 8 to 11. I think they were still at that point.
They eventually
8 to 11.
moved back to 2 hours, but I don't know if they did that yet.
I do remember starting off with Nitro, my nights on Monday, starting off with Nitro for an hour and being like, man, I can't wait for WWF to start. And then 9 o'clock rolling around.
Totally forget
Flipping
Nitro
over.
was on.
Yeah, and and you flip back and forth, and it's just night and day. Like,
Yeah.
I was watching as an 11-year-old at the time, and even I could tell that there was big differences between the two promotions. And that, again, WCW just simply didn't have the juice anymore. And they were, even though they were trying to desperately to cling to whatever they had left. The problem for me, though, was that WCW still had a lot of talent. And they were all just in embarrassing situations. If you told me that a show with Booker T, Rey Mysterio, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Shane Douglas, Sting, Vampiro, Scott Steiner, Kevin Nash, Conan, Juventud Guerrero, and Jeff Jarrett, I'm like, man, that should be a solid show.
Jeff Jarrett, really?
I'll include Jeff Jarrett in there.
All right.
I throw Jeff Jarrett in
I'm glad
there.
you said his name last then.
He's at least a competent wrestler who was around. He was in WWF for a while. He's a known guy. You know, I'm not gonna disrespect Jeff Jarrett like that. He's at least worthy of being in this group of people that's like, oh, they're talented.
World champion.
And there's others that I might have. Yeah, he is the world heavyweight champion on this night. And there's others that I might have not said, like Billy Kidman, who's another guy who's really good. But
Big Vito.
exactly. But again, all those are ingredients for at least a solid show, right? Instead, we get WCW in 2000, which means we got Vince Russo booking things, and that means everything is going to be terrible because he can devalue pretty much anything with his booking.
He thinks he's making everybody important, but what he's doing is making everybody less important. That's what it felt like.
Just
By trying to make everybody important, he was lowering everybody's value. That's what it felt like watching.
to me, it's not even that. It's just, it was bad. It was just terrible. One terrible idea after another. Terrible. Everything. And we'll talk about it. But on this night, despite how terrible everything was, they still drew a little more than 7,000 people to
Paid?
Baltimore.
Paying?
Yeah, I don't know if paid or not, but they were in the building.
The buy rate was 0.19.
That wasn't great. I mean, sure, but 7,000 people is nothing to sneeze at, even by today's standards.
It's true.
I'm sure the AEW would love to have 7,000 people at every show. That's not what's happening, though. You heard the video package there, the opening video package about, well, first we started off with Goldberg returning to beat up a bunch of
We
people.
did. I had to cut that out. That was just so weird.
It was weird. It felt like Nitro starting.
I
It didn't
know,
feel like a pay-per-view
yeah.
starting.
Yeah.
You don't start off with, like, previously. This is, like, the end. So we're not previously. You just do a package. Do a video package. But on the call, we got Tony Schiavone and Mark Madden and Scott Hudson. Woof.
Here we go.
I don't think we talked too much about either one of these guys. Tony Schiavone, we already know about Tony Schiavone. We cool with Tony Schiavone, even though he wasn't good on this show. But we cool with Tony. Let's set him to the side. We haven't really talked about Scott Hudson and Mark Madden on this show too much. And basically because Scott Hudson is only really in this time period, and it was a terrible time period that we've been avoiding. And the same for Mark Madden, I guess.
This is the latest WCW show we've ever dove deep on. So yeah.
Yes. Your thoughts on Scott Hudson and Mark Madden?
Didn't really think Scott Hudson was bad. Didn't like Mark Madden back then, but now, and I think he's worse now, looking back. But Scott Hudson was the voice of WCW, like on the weekends. He took over Saturday night, and no, I really wouldn't watch Saturday night in 2000. But a lot of the weekend shows, if it was like a 1 hour recap show or whatever, he was on there. And he was usually with Larry Sabisco. Could have been WCW Pro, maybe that was the show. But I would hear a lot of Scott Hudson, back then, and I didn't think he was terrible. I didn't think he was Tony Schiavone either, and he wasn't. But I didn't really have issues with how he presented things on TV, how he commentated, or anything like that. It wasn't Tony. So if I didn't hear Tony, I didn't think it was important because Tony was the A guy, on Nitro, Thunder, whatever. And once they mix, I think Scott might have eventually been the head guy on Thunder. I didn't really even watch Thunder at this point. I only had one TV, and I couldn't have anything in the background at the time. So, the way I do now, the way I have multiple screens that I can have things in the background on mute, stuff like that. I didn't do that back then. So I would rarely watch Thunder at this point. Nitro, I would only tape in the other room, not even go back and watch it after it was over. Like that week, I was like, all right, well, at least I have it taped, and, I'll wait till next week. I think I stopped taping Thunder at some point, but I would keep taping Nitro because I was like, okay, like WWF made Raw and SmackDown important, so I had to tape both of them. WCW, as long as I had Nitro on tape, I was fine, with my collections and stuff. So I stopped taping Thunder at some point. So, yeah, like Scott Hudson, not a big deal, but not like terrible, not great. So just kind of there. Again, if I didn't hear Tony, I didn't care. Mark Madden to me was somebody that's, the shock jock type. Say anything to get a rise. Bobby Heenan wannabe is what I kind of referred to him as back
That's
then.
That's a good one. That's actually really pretty accurate.
I was just like, dude, Bobby Heenan did this better. Like, he sucks. And I totally forgot that he did a lot of the WCW.com or WCWWrestling.com stuff. Previous pay-per-views, they would show him backstage, doing interviews and stuff. And I forgot he was that guy. And then he would just get on the color as the color guy and just say outlandish stuff. And I was just like, oh, Vince Russo's at it again.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
that's basically what I just hated him on commentary.
Mark Madden, who was and still a fixture in Pittsburgh sports media, he spends a lot of time hating on the Flyers. I mean, the Flyers, they haven't won a cup in 50 years, so he's literally selling a shirt right now that says 50 years, no cups, which is like, damn, okay. But, I mean, the Flyers don't hit back. Why are you still doing this?
I know.
Why are you piling on the Flyers at this point? Like you said, they haven't won a cup in 50 years.
I'm a hater, but he's a hater. Like,
it's a big level of hatred. They haven't won in 50 years. You don't have to say anything. Like, we got it. It's like the Eagles fans piling on Cowboys fans at this point. Like, they haven't won in 30 years. Like, they don't have to pile on. You don't have to be mean. No,
yes, we do.
I was just saying, Eagles fans will take great pride and joy in being mean to Cowboys fans. But I don't understand why there's that vitriol towards Flyers fans or Flyers right now. If you're a Penguins fans, why do you even care about the Flyers? Like,
you got 3 cups in the Crosby era, like,
right? And the Flyers have only been to 1 cup. It's the final. Like, you got it, guys. We got that. The Flyers won that 1 series in 2012, and there we go.
Yeah.
But Mark Madden, as like you said, the shock radio jock, was kind of like Vince Russo's style. That's what I'm sure he sought that out. Him being like the radio guy for WCW makes sense because he had such an extensive background in radio. But on TV, not good. Not good. Because his one-liners were bad. It's hard to explain. Like, his tone was bad. A lot of things was just bad. He tried too hard.
He tried the Heenan one-liners, and they always fell flat.
Fell flat.
I feel like Tony Schiavone was just like, ugh.
He would always mention people by their real name, which I know that's a Vince Russo thing. He wanted like to shoot sometimes, but he's going Ian when he's talking to Vampiro. Almost said Vampiro. But Vampiro, he's calling him Ian. What are we doing here? He's Vampiro, bro. He's about to set somebody on fire. Call him his real name, snitch. You the feds now?
Scott Hudson did the same damn thing. After that, he was like, we almost saw Steve Borden kill himself.
Well, at least that man was on fire.
Bro, like, what are we doing?
At least that man was on fire. Vampiro's just standing there complaining. I don't know, Ian. Shut up. Do we call Woody from Toy Story Tom Hanks? No, he's Woody. I don't know why I thought that was the thing to do. It's one thing if you do it one time, it's like that, oh, moment.
Yeah.
Like if you call CM Punk Phil, it's like, oh.
Exactly.
He called him Phil. but like one time, not throughout the show, and 4 times in a row. But Ian, I don't know. Shut up. His name is Vampiro, damn it. And that's it. What are we doing here? So yeah, I was not a fan. And Scott Hudson, talking about him, I kind of agree with you. He wasn't bad. The stuff he called was bad.
He was
and I think it made him look bad.
Yeah.
Like having to call the Steve Borden thing was bad. And him having to say out of his mouth, we just saw Steve Borden kill himself, is crazy.
Tony Schiavone would not have said that. If like he probably was asked to say that, and Tony's like, "No, I'm not doing that."
Whose idea was that? Oh my God! So yeah, commentary on this night. We are a far cry from Tony and Dusty and Bobby, or even Tony, Dusty and Tenay. What would it be?
Or Larry Zbyszko.
Oh, Larry Zbyszko, right?
Man.
Oh my goodness, we are far away from that. We got these 3 who weren't in the Mark Madden and Scott Hudson were not in the Ready to Rumble, by the way, which was probably the right call in my opinion. I mean, Scott Hudson probably should have been in the movie, but Mike Tenay and Tony Schiavone, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Mark Madden, get out of here. No room for Mark Madden and the nonsense he would say and the terrible jokes and the breaking of kayfabe over and over again. But as for the show itself, we have our categories. We have match of the night, worst match of the night, top non-wrestling happenings, worst non-wrestling happening, hidden gems, and random thoughts. Nick, this show was horrendous in
I think
so
it was
many
my
ways.
idea too, but
It might have been,
I
but
feel like we had to cover Goldberg's heel turn at some point.
and that's fine. I'm good with it. I'm just saying for the people out there, this show was horrendous. I don't think in reality, we're going to try to fit some things into some categories here, but I don't think there was a good match on this show. Not one. I think they all could have been known as the worst match of the night. There's so many options to choose from when it comes to the worst match of the night. But I'll ask you, how did you find one match that you say, well, that might be the best match of the night?
I did. And the reason why is because it was really, really funny seeing David Flair sell like Ric Flair.
I did notice that. Man, I thought I wanted to make it like a hidden gem. I couldn't do it.
I can't. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't have a hidden gem because
It's so.
I don't think anything fit into that. Even like the little things inside matches, I was like,
Yeah.
I can't. So I don't have a hidden gem. This is my best match of the night: Ric Flair versus David Flair.
I kind of agree as far as not match of the night. No. Because David Flair was just not ready for the spot. This is what it is.
Well, he never was.
Never was,
Never
but
grew into his body. He was the same skinny guy. Like he couldn't put weight on, couldn't put muscle on. His selling, like I feel like Rick like killed his shoulder just by backdropping David. Like I feel like any bump David took was like, oh my God, is he okay? Like he just didn't have the motor skills in the ring.
He just wasn't a wrestler, and that's
He wasn't.
fine.
He
He wasn't a
wasn't,
pro
you know?
wrestler.
He wasn't.
That wasn't his bag. But I do agree with you as far as like how they use David Flair to take the moves that Rick normally takes, especially when he would climb to the top rope and Rick beeled David off instead of Rick being the one beeled off the
Right.
top rope. It's David going flying, which is like, oh, that's kind of fun. But okay, that's your
Yeah, he did the over the Rick. Rick tried it in the beginning to go
did.
over the
It
top
didn't
rope.
work.
But he did not make it over the top, but
Did not
David eventually did. He did the Rick bump over the turnbuckle to over the top rope, running across the apron to the other side, go on the top rope. Rick catches him and do it, and I was like, okay, that's my spot of the night. So by this is by default, that's my match of the night. 'Cause
That's
That
crazy.
was the best spot of the night.
I did think
And
that was a clever spot. I agree with
I
you.
did like Reed kind of coming in. not Russo shoving him away, but then Reed coming back with the low blow. I was like, okay, that's pretty funny. Ashley, a.k.a. Charlotte, making her pay-per-view debut, right?
14 years old or wherever she was at that point.
She
teeny
handcuffs
bopper.
Vince Russo, his hands behind his back, and I was like, okay, like that's kind of funny. Like with the overbooked mess that everything is, I found joy in that.
Well, I'm glad you found some joy in that. I'm trying to figure out where I had this listed. I feel like I had it among the worst matches of the night.
Really?
I think I did. I'm trying to find it
Entertainment
now.
value. I think
notes.
it was like because Ric Flair was so outlandish anyway, and David, the promo before this, David Flair is wearing like regular clothes, and it's like okay, he's changing his shirt as he's entering the arena. You can see him like he's putting on a Nitro shirt, just so Rick can tear it off. So he changed his good shirt because he didn't want that to get torn. I'm sure. Because Rick's going to tear his shirt off and chop him to death. And it's so funny. He can't even wait until he has the shirt fully on to make his entrance into the arena. He's on the ramp. You could see him struggling with the shirt to get it on. He's like changing his shirt as he's coming down the ramp. It's like, what is going on? What is going on?
I actually do have this listed as like sort of a hidden gem. Something had to go here. But it's not really something that you need to see. Honestly, it's not really a gem. There's no gems on this show.
If you want to see David selling like Rick, then watch it because
there you
it
go.
made me laugh.
There you go. My match of the night was.
He also did the poke to the eyes, by the way.
He did. I did enjoy that. I did enjoy that as well. My match of the night, tough decisions here. But I'm going with the ambulance match, even though it was the craziest of swerves at the end. At least it was like entertaining at some points. So for those that don't know, we got an ambulance match between Diamond Dallas Page and Mike Awesome. And this is a grudge match for DDP, as at the end of Slamboree, did we cover that on the Straight Shooters? I feel like we've watched that. Slamboree 2000 when we had the triple cage with DDP and David Arquette and all those guys.
We did not.
But okay, well, at the end, Mike Awesome throws Chris Kanyon off of one of the cages through the stage and seemingly cripples the man. Like he's in a wheelchair with a halo. So it looks like Chris Kanyon's career, his life, is forever impacted by that spot, at least in storyline. So DDP, who's Chris Kanyon's homie, he's got to get his lick back for his homie. He can't just let his homie get paralyzed like this, basically, and let it slide. So it's DDP versus Mike Awesome, where you have to put I guess not yourself, but you have to get this guy into a stretcher and into an ambulance for the win, like a regular stretcher ambulance match. However, they have medical personnel at ringside carrying people onto the stretcher and then wheeling them out. It just made it seem weird. It's just like, why are they here to do this? The wrestlers should do that. But
it's like a stretcher match, I guess.
Yeah, but with help somehow. But the thing is let me go back real quick to the Slamboree match. The thing is, that spot that happened with Chris Kanyon, getting thrown off the top of the cage, was in the same arena that Owen Hart died in a year prior, I should say. So it's like, what are y'all doing? Why did y'all do that there? Y'all could have done this anywhere else. Why here? But that's what they did. But yeah, this match, it was fine. It was the worst. One of the worst parts of the match, I will say, was Kimberly coming out and hitting DDP with what was clearly a rubber pipe. Oh my God. Like, it folded over his back. You could see it. Clear as day, not an actual lead pipe.
I don't know if you remember the Raw before WrestleMania 14. It was like a few weeks before that when Owen Hart was in a walking boot, and then it was like him versus Triple H, and then China came out and hit him with a baseball bat, and then Triple H pinned him to win the European title. I forget like what week that was, but it was before WrestleMania 14, one of those Raws. The bat China had was clearly like a plastic bat, and she hits Owen's like boot, and it barely does anything. Like Owen probably didn't even feel it, and then she drops the bat and is like twirling around like a little plastic bat.
No.
I was like, These props, man. Why can't we do better with the props?
It's just you can't hit him so hard. If you hit him too hard, it's gonna bend. You gotta and take it right off of him because you can't let it bend. You gotta go quick, pow, and he's gonna sell it like, oh my god, but she went all the way down, so obviously you see it just go whoop and just bends like a pool noodle or something.
Like everybody's gonna notice that. Even the live audience is gonna notice that. Come on.
Terrible. Come on. And then here's the spot. Here's the big moment of the match. When they're fighting, I think they're outside of the ring, and then Eric Bischoff comes out and threatens to hit Kanyon with a chair. Yeah. And then DDP knocks over Eric Bischoff, and then Kanyon, out of nowhere, stands up out of the chair and hits DDP with a diamond cutter off the stage through a table. And then music is playing for some reason. I thought New Jack was around. No, it was Eric Bischoff's music. What are we doing?
The camera work too. We're trying to follow what's happening, and the camera work was not good.
They almost missed the
Everything was
Kanyon
happening
spot.
too fast for the cameramen to get the spots. Like they were moving too quick. Instead of how WWE moves too slow now, pretty much to make sure everything is situated. WCW did too quick, and you really miss Kanyon standing up because the announcers weren't reacting to it.
I only saw him running with DDP for the diamond cutter. I didn't see him do anything else before that.
Yep.
So, but Kanyon is now a member of the New Blood. He tears the shirt off and reveals he's got a New Blood shirt on. So it's like, oh my God, this is Kanyon. Why would he join the group that almost paralyzed him a month earlier? And then he puts DDP on the stretcher, and Mike Awesome puts him into the ambulance for the win. And there's that. Kanyon later says Eric Bischoff told him to hey man, if you want to be a star, you gotta take DDP out. So it's wait a second. Did he fake was the whole cage thing fake? Was that not real? Did he not really get hurt? Or did he really get hurt but make this miraculous comeback and then join the guy who tossed him off the cage? I don't understand. It's just bad storytelling.
So he was in the hospital because he said Eric Bischoff was the guy who visited him the most. So apparently it was real. But
so
then
he was hurt. But he was so hurt.
But he faked it.
That he what? Again, this is when we talk about we don't want swerves for the sake of swerves. They have to make sense. And this is Swerve City right here. Not Swerve Swerve Strickland. That's a good swerve. These are the many bad ones. Many bad ones. And speaking of many, there are many options to choose from when discussing the worst match of the night. Nick, I got a list, but I'll start with you.
I did add a couple honorable mentions. I have 3 total because I wanted to kind of parse it down a little bit.
Yeah, not be here all day talking about how bad this show was.
My honorable mentions, one was could very well be the worst match, but I put it in my honorable mention, the Asylum match, the Handicap Asylum match with Scott.
I had that as well.
Tank Abbott and Rick.
Yep.
And another one was the Human Torch match with Sting and Vampiro. So
that was your honorable mention?
Yeah.
Oh man, what was the? Yeah. All right, so hold on. Let's talk about the Asylum match real quick since we both have it as an honorable mention. This is what is it?
Can we?
For one, the Asylum match is supposedly Scott Steiner's specialty match.
Apparently.
Since when? Don't know. And then before the match begins, technically, because they're wrestling.
Just him versus Tank Abbott.
Yeah, Scott Steiner versus Tank Abbott in Scott Steiner's match. But he's with Madeja and Shakira too, the Super Freaks as they're called.
Hey.
But before
that might have been the best part of the night, honestly.
I mean, probably not lying there, but before they lower the cylinder cage into the ring, that's like a tiny cylinder. Rick Steiner is added to the match and making it a handicap match, so he's joining up with Tank Abbott to go against Scott Steiner. So even though this looks like the Lion's Den from WWF, it's Scott Steiner's match. But Rick and Tank, they've taken it to Scott, beating him up really good. And then Tank Abbott is like, hey, let's beat him up some more. I'm going to pull out a chain. Because this is a cage match. This is an Asylum match. We agreed to beat this guy up. We're going to beat him up as bad as we can. But now Rick all of a sudden has a conscience.
What the hell's he doing?
He had agreed to face his brother. That's already crossing a line. And in the midst of the match, he dropped an elbow on his brother's groin. And even Mark Madden's like, I don't think I've ever seen that before. You know, brother doing that to another brother. And like, he don't care about his nieces and nephews, but yet he don't make my bro bleed, bro. Right. That's too far. We ain't got to take it that far. Yeah, I elbowed him in the groin, but like, we ain't got to use chains. We ain't got to do that. That's too far. You're fighting your brother. Not only are you fighting him, you joined someone else to do it. They was stomping him out. Tank Abbott mistakenly hits Rick Steiner with the chain.
Was it?
I guess. Who cares? Scott then beats up Tank rather quickly.
Really quickly.
Rather quickly. And picks up the win. Complete garbage is what I called it. So yeah, I had I had a couple honorable mentions, but I'll let you go to, you said, what was the other one you said?
My other one was the Human Torch match.
Okay, so.
By the way, Tank Abbott, he could be Mick Foley's doppelganger, right? You see that?
No. Tank
face?
Abbott was huge, like muscular, way more muscular than Mick.
No, like his
in
face.
the face. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't get a good enough look at him to tell. So
I always thought I was like, who does he remind me of? All like as a kid, I'm like, oh my god, Mick Foley.
He looks like Mankind.
So
He looks like Dude Love.
That's Tank doing the Dude Love gimmick.
Oh.
Have mercy.
We need a mercy after watching this nonsense.
That's what we do. We also need a mercy after a best of 5.
Is that your worst?
Table match? Or best of 10? Or best of 9?
So this is your worst, right? This is your worst? All right, so let's talk about it.
Everything, all-encompassing crap.
I do have it as an honorable mention. One, my worst is the Human Torch. We'll talk about that in a second. But we got to talk about the best of 5 tables match, question mark?
Which even the commentators are like, all right, the first one to go through 9 tables wins.
So, all right, let's catch everybody up. It's Shane Douglas versus Sergeant AWOL / The Wall. I think he's The Wall again, right? I think he's just The Wall.
That's right. Sergeant AWOL was wasn't it? Oh my
he's in
God.
the Misfits in Action, which we'll talk about them
Yeah.
in more garbage factions
he was
later.
Just The Wall, and he dyed his hair black. So
Yes,
that was weird.
but they was supposed to have a good old fashioned tables match. You know, just put a guy through a table. You know, it's over. That's it. No, Shane Douglas said, "How about we up the ante?" First, he says he makes fun of Ric Flair and other people. But then how about we up the ante and make it a best of 5 tables match? And the announcers immediately got this confused and said, well, damn, they got to break 5 tables to win. And it's like, well, that's not a best of 5, sir.
Right.
That's a best of 9. Okay. A best of 5 is the first to 3. Okay. Like what was it? First round of the baseball division series.
Yeah.
Best of 3, or the first one. It used to be the first round of the NBA playoffs too, with best of 5.
Yep.
And now every round of the basketball and every round of hockey is best of 7, which is first to 4 wins. It's like we're doing right now in the Stanley Cup Final and the NBA Finals. Both of those are best of 7s. A best of 5 though is first to 3. But they said you got to put them through 5 tables. That's not a best of 5. That's a best of 9. Okay. But then after Shane Douglas went through 2 tables in like rapid succession, that's when they was like, oh, actually, no, it's best of 3. You have to go through 3. Okay, he has to go through 3. And then out of nowhere, they conveniently fight near a ladder and 3 tables that are stacked on top of each other. Shane Douglas apparently just set this up before the match. Nobody saw it. Nobody knew.
Nobody. And he gets on the right side of the ladder, and the wall's like, okay, well, I guess I'll get on this side then. And I'll climb up and meet you.
It didn't count the tables? Oh, I ain't climbing up there. I know that's bait. That's bait. That's all you had to say.
That's it.
That's bait, bro. I ain't going up there. There's 3 tables. I need 3 to lose. Nope. But what does the wall do?
Couldn't push the ladder over or something to get Shane down?
Nope. He climbed up with Shane, and Shane punched him one good time, and Wall fell through the 3 tables.
He almost missed it, too.
Almost overshot them,
Ooh,
which would have been terrible. But he falls through all 3 tables, and that's how Shane Douglas wins. That's how he beats the wall. He doesn't put him through 3 separate tables. He put him through 3 tables at once. What a disgrace this was. The crowd didn't care. No one got over. Everybody looked stupid. What is wrong with this? This is terrible. And the wall, I guess you got to keep his heat. He chokeslams a ref. Oh,
through the other table, by the way.
Big whoop, bro.
Listen, that table was set up right near the ladder, and so the wall couldn't just shove the ladder over and have Shane go through that table and win the match. He had to climb the ladder to meet Shane, to fight with him, just to go through 3 tables. Nothing made sense. Everything was so bad. And I felt bad for the announcers, too, because it's like...
Yeah. It's so bad.
Trying to convey to the viewer at home the stupidity of what we're seeing is probably really, really hard.
So bad. Shout out to Shane Douglas and the Wall. Rest in peace to the Wall, by the way.
Yes.
But talented people, just with terrible stuff.
Listen, Shane Douglas, his pre-match promo, he calls all the Baltimore fans pieces of shit. But then he called the Wall a piece of crap. Like, I guess he's scared of the Wall a little bit.
Maybe.
So it made me laugh. Just the way Shane changed from when he left ECW to go to WCW. And it was just very, very funny how I thought the highest of him when he was at ECW, because I was like, damn, that's Shane Douglas, the franchise. And just how he looked in WCW made him such a turd.
Hey, everybody got all that mouth until they got bills to pay.
It's true. That's true.
When you trying to get that money, it's like, oh, I'm good. But like before that, it's like, they stink. I would never do that. I would never compromise this and compromise that, and then they compromise.
But at the expense of his mic skills, like I was just like ECW, man, he's the franchise. His promos were fire, and now it's here doing.
The only fire we got was from the Human Torch match, which was my worst match of the night. Because
I don't fault you.
This was another disgrace, in my opinion. Like, what are we doing here? What is this? For one, WWF has already set somebody on fire. They've done it at least once by this point with the Inferno matches.
And they had at least another one before. Right. I think they had one in '99 as well.
As I was thinking too, I think they had another one after that. But even still, it was a more spectacular visual because the ring was surrounded by fire.
Yes.
And it was also kind of Kane's thing with fire, so it kind of made storyline sense, and it looked spectacular. Now, granted, it's hella dangerous. They haven't done it in, I guess since 2020. Remember the whole burning Bray Wyatt in the ring? Remember that?
Yeah.
That was garbage, but they haven't done it in a while. But again, it was a more spectacular visual by 2000, and it was kind of Kane's thing. But here we are in WCW, and it's not the ring. The fire isn't surrounded by, or the ring isn't surrounded by fire. Instead, it's just a torch that's on the stage that's eventually repelled, or I guess not repelled, but brought up to the top of the stage by Sting. But again, the objective is to set your opponent on fire.
Yeah. Where does Vampiro come with fire? Where does Sting come with fire? Like, why is it? Why is fire a thing in this feud?
Just know they eventually fight in the ring. They fight on top of the stage. They climb up halfway.
Sting doused in gasoline, by the way. Apparently,
of course. But they climb up a little bit, and then Sting falls off the side of the stage. He falls from like maybe 10, 15 feet up, and no one cared. The crowd didn't react. The announcers barely reacted. What a waste. And then Sting just shakes it off and climbs again. What?
I just...
What?
That's what that first drop, they're like, okay, the match is over. It's like, no, he's not on fire, bro. Like, we were specifically told whoever gets lit on fire loses. So
why do that spot? Why do that spot? Don't do that spot. That should be the end of the match. Every other time I've seen that, the match is over. When Shane fell off the side of Shane McMahon fell off the side of the stage, it was a SummerSlam or Backlash, whatever. I think both of those shows. That was the final spot of the match. Instead, Sting just, man, what a tough fall. Just brushes himself off, and let me climb back up again. Like, what? And then when they get there, that's when the lights start flickering. They start putting on a light show because, you know, it's super cool. But in reality, it's to hide the fact that they have a stunt double up there to replace Sting.
By the way, they were up there way too long with the lights flashing. I thought it would be like, you know, like maybe a 30-second thing. They were up there for like 3 or 4 minutes with the lights flashing.
Terrible. Eventually, Vampiro gets his hands on the torch and sets quote-unquote Sting on fire.
Oh my God, it's on fire.
But you can clearly see, well, for one, they take this real wide shot, so you can't clearly see that it's not Sting. But after he's on fire, they then shoot close and, like, from the ground, the stunt double taking the fall off the stage, and you can clearly see it's not Sting, and he's doing like a stunt double type of move to fall. It's just like, what are we doing? And then he hits the stage, and it's clearly padded, and it's just like, I'm in hell with this, bro.
Oh my God.
And the announcers go, oh my God. Steve Borden. It's Steve Borden, y'all. They tried to force themselves to be appalled. And then Mark Madden's goofy ass is going to say, we never could have thought this could happen. Get out. Get out the stadium. Get out the arena right now. You never thought it could happen? Brother, it's a Human Torch match. And again, somebody's been set on fire in wrestling already. Where have you been?
Tony said it. He's like, I don't think anyone wants to watch this.
He was right. Boy, he has a way of saying accurate things in the midst of the show somehow. And then the line of the night, or I guess not really the line of the night, but Scott Hudson, after the aftermath, they're trying to, you know, put Sting out with the fire extinguishers, again, quote unquote Sting. And Scott Hudson goes, we just watched Steve Borden kill himself. What? Who thought that was the line? For one, no, we didn't. What are you talking about? Nobody said he was moving after he hit the ground.
I know.
And even still, like, it's very plausible that he could easily not be dead from that. Like, yeah, the fire will burn, but the fall could put him out. Like, and
they were spraying him quite a long time too.
Look, clearly a long time, taking extra precautions with it.
Making
but it's
sure
like
the wig, you know,
even if you did think you saw someone just pass away in front of you, in front of thousands of people, we just gonna move on after that? I mean, I guess WWF did it, so I guess WCW could do it too. But man,
well, after
what
that,
a disgrace!
Guess how many replays they showed?
Like 10.
I counted them. There were 5, but it felt like 10.
Oh my
God! 5 replays
from new angles.
Yeah. It was ridiculous how they're selling this being like the worst thing ever. And they're like, oh, we gotta watch this. Oh, okay. Well, look at this. What the hell are we doing? Like,
well, look at it again. Oh, here it comes. And there's the fire. Hey, he's falling again. Oh, we apologize to the Borden family.
Here's a different angle.
Well, there's a new angle in case the Borden family needs it in evidence when they sue us. Man,
wild.
What a disgrace. A disgrace. But my last honorable mention before we get out of this terrible, terrible category has to be the main event, bro. We haven't talked about the main event yet.
Well, that's on purpose.
Okay. All right. Well, that's my honorable mention. So where would you have the main event falling in your...
Nowhere.
Okay.
Nowhere.
Well, let's talk about it now then.
I do have a portion of it. And
yes.
I don't know if... I guess it would be a wrestling happening, but I think the story... I'm more about the story.
Yes. I thought about doing the same thing. Okay. I thought about doing the same thing and making pretty much Goldberg's heel turn the worst non-wrestling happening.
That's what
but
I have, yeah.
There were worse things in the show, surprisingly, that I would talk about. But the match itself... WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Jeff Jarrett defending against Kevin Nash. Jeff Jarrett is a member of the New Blood, right? He's a member of the New Blood. Kevin Nash is a member of the Millionaires Club. And because the New Blood is running the show, Ernest the Cat Miller, also a member of the New Blood, brings out the Filthy Animals, who we'll talk about again later on. But they're members of the New Blood, and they're here to help Jeff Jarrett. And boy, do they ever, because there is so much interference, and not like in a good way, where like WrestleMania 40, where the story kind of catered to that. There's all these characters that were kind of a part of this long, overarching story for many years.
Except the Undertaker.
Except the Undertaker, but he was like a last minute replacement, right, kind of deal. But instead, we could just get random stuff, just random people. This is when we talk about overbooked mess. Yeah. This is what we're talking about. Not WrestleMania 40 when it makes sense. This is what we're talking about. We have the Filthy Animals. There's 4 members of the Filthy Animals, by the way. We got Conan, Rey Mysterio, unmasked, overall wearing Rey Mysterio. Okay? And yes, overall, shirtless underneath. Tommy Hilfiger overalls. Juventud Guerrero, who thinks he's The Rock at this point. He does the people's elbow in the midst of this. And if you watch WCW around this time, he pretty much stole The Rock's whole flow. To make fun of him, I guess. But like he did. That's what he was doing around this time. And we got, did I mention Conan already? Oh, we got Billy Kidman as a part of this too.
Disco.
Part of the Filthy Animals. Oh, Disco. Disco with a Q.
Yes.
By the way, not D-I-S-C-O, D-I-S-Q-O, because we're in 2000 and Cisco is the biggest artist in the world, arguably, because of the thong song. And Drew Hill before that. Don't forget, we got Drew Hill. And don't forget, if you're out there doing your exercises, get your Drew Hills in. I don't know if you know what the Drew Hills are, Nick, but go watch them. It's a dance. It's actually a dance that Drew Hill would do, but people, black people, at least on the internet, love my folks, turn it into an exercise. Gotta get your Drew Hills in. So just get your Drew Hills in if you need to get some exercise in. But, so we got 4 members of the Filthy Animals. We also got Rick Steiner, Scott Steiner, and Tank Abbott. All involved, all fighting, right? But this is all leading to the arrival of Goldberg. So let's rewind a little bit. Goldberg came back recently and seemingly joined the Millionaires Club. He's side by side with Kevin Nash. And Eric Bischoff all night is like, keep Goldberg out of the building. There's a heavy police presence outside. And there's a monster truck, and there's Goldberg's monster truck, and he's feasibly driving it, terrorizing WCW week after week, right? Every week, he's just driving through, not with a regular car. He just has this monster truck in every city, which, that's not street legal. You can't just drive around with monster trucks on the street. You get pulled over so fast. But there's Goldberg, heavy police presence. No one's getting let in except Hulk Hogan with his boa and Ric Flair with his family.
My God. Hulk Hogan driving like that, how could he see?
With sunglasses at night, in the boa and on in the car. But those are the only 2 people we see get through the police blockade or perimeter they've set up outside the arena. But in the midst of this match, not only does Goldberg get through, he drives his monster truck straight into the arena.
How'd he get in?
How did that happen? Right? Oh my goodness. Even though there's cops out there all night trying to prevent him from doing it. But inevitably, Goldberg stands in the ring. He sees Jeff Jarrett. He sees Kevin Nash. Everybody thinks he's going to spear Jeff Jarrett. And wham! He spears Kevin Nash. Swerve! And Mark Madden, how annoying, yells, surprise! Awful. You going to yell surprise? Yeah. Surprise! So you knew? Shut up. Again, shut up. Let the people enjoy the moments of the actual surprise, the shock and awe. I just don't remember heel announcers ever doing that. They would be shocked right along with it, or they'd celebrate the happening. They're along for the ride along with you. So they're like, oh, this is terrible, or yay, either one. But they go, surprise, it's just... Shut up. He said it like 3 times. Shut up.
The only time that worked is when like Bobby Heenan did it when Hulk turned on WCW. Like that was it. He's like, I told you. Like,
right.
That works. Mark Madden, again, tried too hard to be Bobby Heenan.
Tried too hard to be cool. Tried too hard to be in the know with the smart, quote unquote, smart fans. And that didn't work back then, and it still wouldn't work now, bro. It's just garbage. No. And then we get Tony Schiavone. He said, I don't know what to say. Nothing, Tony. Don't say anything, bro. It's horrible. And then,
I will say the crowd was loud enough to where you didn't really have to. You could just let the crowd tell the story.
yeah, and they started throwing stuff in the ring, too.
I'm telling you.
They got some heat, I guess.
It did.
I mean,
It did, and I swear, and I wrote this in my notes, I guarantee you the stuff being thrown in the ring, Bischoff and Vince Russo were like, oh, we hit it.
100%.
This is gold.
100% they did. Goldberg, the same thing. He was standing up on a turnbuckle going, keep throwing it. Even though people were leaving still. But keep throwing it. And they were. The ring filled up with trash. I'm sure they thought they hit the jackpot. They pulled off a caper with this one. We did it.
Funny thing is, there's a difference when Hulk Hogan does it to start a ridiculously hot wrestling angle that was already hot, kind of, but joining it versus people that are just fed up with WCW's
Right.
bullshit.
We're done. We're done. It's over. You killed the town. The announcers are beside themselves. And then I forget who said it. What does this mean for the future of WCW? What future?
What's going to happen on Nitro tomorrow night?
What future?
Always that crap.
What future? So that's what I had there for the worst matches of the night. So
Yeah.
let's move on. There's a long list of matches that we
Telling
can
you,
list
well,
there.
I don't think we're going to, unless we watch another WCW show in this era, we're not going to spend as much time on the worst match of the night, I don't think.
Oh my God. Just one disgraceful showing after another.
There
in
were
my
plenty
opinion.
of others we could have chosen from as well.
Yes, there are more. There are more. But let's go to our somewhat of a positive here. What's your top non-wrestling happening from Great American Bash?
Without a
2000?
doubt, the funniest moment on the show.
All right, moments from now, these two men, the Mamalukes.
Yes. 100%. Agreed.
You're going to be facing Chronic to establish once and for all who the WCW Tag Team top contenders are going to be. Gentlemen.
You talking to me, Gino, or you talking to him? Make up your mind. Come on. Give me this microphone, huh?
Both you guys.
Listen, we've been beating up Stugatz bigger than Chronic down at the county jail, all right? We ain't got time for this kind of interview, all right? We got things to do, all right? And besides that, I don't sweat nobody because I'm the hardcore champion of WCW. You got it? That's a nice tie, president of the county jail.
Now, wait a minute.
Huh?
You're the hardcore champion?
That's right.
And not Johnny the Bull?
Listen, John, we got
Wait
a
a
match.
second.
Question.
Hey, what about
Come
that?
on, let's go. We got a match.
Hey, come on.
Good question.
Hey, Vito, I'm asking you a freaking question over here.
Now, I enjoyed the whole thing, but that final part is what puts it over the top for me. It is the top non-wrestling happening.
Hey, Vito, I'm asking you a freaking question over here.
Yeah, I agree. That's 100% the same thing I had. Asking you a question over here. For one, the Mamalukes, just every Italian stereotype imaginable.
Everyone.
Mean Gene is clearly
Makes me
talking to
proud.
somebody. He's
Makes
talking
me
to,
proud.
I think he's talking to Vito. Clearly, he's talking to one person. And then Johnny the Bull goes, you talking to me? You talking to him? He's talking to the other guy, clearly. What are you talking about? But, of course, because, they're Italian. Oh, you talking to me? Like, hey, forget about it. That's the whole thing. That's the whole promo. It's just every Italian stereotype. Hey, forget about it. You talking to me? Bada bing, bada boom, forget about it. And that was the promo. That was the promo, and that was the gimmick.
Hey, Vito, I'm asking you a freaking question over here.
And over here. He really leaned into it.
Oh, Gene.
Did that offend you as an Italian American,
It did
there,
not.
Nick?
It did not. It made me laugh my ass off. I'm crying. I was
It's
crying.
so
laughing. I was like,
silly,
I actually
man.
was like, thank God this happened because I can put a top non-wrestling happening in this format.
Oh
thank
my
God
God.
for that.
The damn Mamalukes just. What's this gimmick? They're Italian. That's it.
And apparently Johnny the Bull was hardcore champion, but Big Vito was wearing the title, and he was wearing
Yeah.
the title during the match, and it was just so ridiculous. Like the ridiculousness that's entertaining. And
Yes.
look,
Look, I got more on that match in a little bit, but yes, just aggressively Italian. Both of them are Mamalukes. It's so ridiculous.
hey.
Hey, Vito, I'm asking you a freaking question over here.
Yeah, so we're in agreement on that, but
Like he was talking like Gene Okerlund the whole time until that. Like,
right. Why? It's
Why did he
so
change?
funny. Let's move on to worst non-wrestling happening. What do you have here, good sir?
I did have the Goldberg heel turn in general.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Literally a month later, he was face again. Just ridiculous.
Terrible.
I think that he was supposed to give Nash a jackhammer because he was like trying, like about to pull him up or like telling Nash to get up, and Nash put his hand up. I was like, no, I'm good.
I'm gonna
He
just
said,
lie.
I'm not gonna take that bump. So
I'm just gonna lie here and let the
I'll
trash
sell
hit
your
me.
spear. I'll sell your spear the rest of the time. And,
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of funny. I noticed that. And that's when I mentioned the fans throwing garbage in the ring. No doubt convinced Russo and Bischoff that it was the right call at that moment. And I'm sure heading into the next night, they're like, oh, yeah, here we go. Clearly did not work out. Because I also remember logging on to see like the results or whatever. And I'm like, oh, my God, they did it. Because there were like there's always rumors on message boards. And, back then, like, everyone was always saying, "Oh, Austin should turn heel. Austin should turn heel." When The Rock was like super popular, The Rock should turn heel. That actually happened, in '98. But just stuff like that, and it's like nobody really thought Goldberg would ever turn heel because he was still like the most popular person in WCW.
Yeah, one of the main reasons to watch was Goldberg.
And they did it, and I was just like, "Oh, well, let's see how they mess this up," because there's no doubt in my mind that the live audience didn't like it. I will say when watching this back, it seemed like it was getting heat, but again, I think time would tell that it was more like we're out. We're sick of
Yeah,
this.
is you can't take away everybody's heroes, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like we don't want to like Nash, Hogan, Rick.
Right, and the hero can't be Hogan, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
It can't be Hogan. That can't be the hero at this point. So
yeah, I did. I had another one, which part of it's funny, but part of it's not. I think the end of the opener when.
Oh, that's what I got. That's me right there.
Yeah,
that's
go
what
ahead.
I'm going
Go
to.
ahead, take it
Worst
away.
non-wrestling happening is everything with Pops from the Misfits of Action, or Misfits in Action. So let's talk about who the hell the Misfits in Action are. For one,
God.
I was watching this and I was thinking like, man, this is stupid. But in hindsight, it's even worse in hindsight. It wasn't that bad when I was 11. It's even worse now. But the Misfits in Action, like there's some humorous, which is no pun intended,
Yeah.
humorous militant group, but not really militant. It's a bunch of goofballs. And that group
It's like
consisted
the
of
oddities. It was the oddities. Vince
But
Russo
with-
did everything in WCW that he did in WWF. To me, this was the oddities.
the oddities with camo.
Yeah.
That's pretty much. But we got the leader of the Misfits in Action is Hugh Morris, but not Hugh Morris. It's Hugh G. Rection. Get it?
Oh, I get it.
Hugh G. Rection. Excuse me. But the other members, we got Lieutenant Loco. He's Lieutenant Loco because he's
Crazy.
of Latin descent. So not Lieutenant Crazy, Lieutenant Loco. That's Chavo Guerrero.
Oh, yeah,
We
I
got
know him.
yeah, you know him. He needs pain and punishment, but then this night he's
was our pain
Lieutenant
and
Loco.
punishment.
Yeah, yes, he was. We also have Major Stash, formerly Private Stash, now Major Stash. That is Van Hammer. We used to have Sergeant AWOL, the Wall. We also have Corporal Cajun.
Oh, God.
Lash LaRue. Remember Lash LaRue with his
I remember.
L sideburns?
Yeah. I thought that was neat.
I did too when I was a kid.
So I was like starting to grow facial hair, and I was like, oh, I wish I could do that. I still
I
can't
wish-
do that.
You
but-
want to do good an end on your face?
yeah.
Look like a New Balance sneaker?
I was like, that's so cool. Can't wait till my hair grows in so I could
Oh,
do shapes like that.
Corporal Cajun, Lash
Never
LaRue.
did though. Never did.
And lastly, we got Major Guns. 2 N's in Guns. Who, of course, played by Tylene
Tylene
Buck. She was a Nitro or NWO girl, something like that.
I
But
don't know, but she was also in another industry as well.
well, yeah, in the adult entertainment industry,
Yeah.
as they call it. Remember the Filthy Animals too?
Unfortunately,
Terrible factions in WCW.
everyone had to be in a faction. There was nobody like set themselves apart. Like everyone had to be with somebody.
It was like 97 WWF when we had Gang Rules, right? And we got the Filthy Animals, which was like the hip hoppers of WCW, the young hip group with Conan and Rey Mysterio and Hoovy and Billy Kidman and Tigress. You remember Tigress?
Yeah.
And Disco Inferno, who was Shed Disco now. They've brought him into the 2000s. He's a hip hopper now. And like we said earlier, he's disco with a Q, not with a C, because of Cisco, former frontman of Drew Hill, now solo artist, and the Thong Song was the biggest song going at this point.
He was also an actor.
Cisco?
Yeah. He was in the movie Get Over It.
I
knew he looked familiar. I looked him up.
He knew he looked familiar.
I watched that. It was on one of the streaming platforms, and I remember watching it as a teen. And not in theaters, but I watched it like on one of the movie channels. And it was like such the quintessential rom-com for teen type thing, like high schoolers, whatever. And I watched it a couple months ago on one of those channels. I was like, wait, like, what, was that Cisco? And I looked it up, and it was. He was in the movie Get Over It.
It was. I've never seen that, and I don't intend on watching that anytime soon. But yes, terrible factions. Disco Inferno wrestling in a Kobe jersey, Kobe Bryant, number 8.
God, yeah.
It's just so happened, though, this was the day of Game 3 of the NBA Finals that year. The Lakers were playing the Pacers and lost that day.
Oh.
But yeah, they're playing the Pacers, who are also in the NBA Finals right now. Up 2-1 on the Oklahoma City Thunder. But the Lakers, back in 2000, they beat the Pacers in 6 games. So so there's that.
That was the year the Pacers beat the Sixers in the playoffs, I believe.
Yes, I believe in the
first round, right?
First round, yeah, that was a tough loss.
I think it was 5 games, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah. And then they came back the next year and beat the Pacers in the first round.
Did. They
did. On the way to the
That
finals.
was the first year. I think it was 4 games or 7 games. I think.
Oh no, I think that was the last year of the 5-game. I think. Yeah. I think.
Oh, the one where they beat the Pacers.
Yeah, I think that was the last year of the 5-game series in the first round. Gotcha. But also went on to lose to the Lakers in the NBA Finals. So there's that. But we start the match with terrible pro. This should have been in contention for worst non-wrestling happening.
I mean,
it was this Misfits promo.
It was up there.
Where at the beginning, we get huge erection talking, and then Chavo Guerrero pulls out a grenade to make a genitals joke that did not land. And then Hugh grabs the grenade, like, "Oh, you gotta put this away."
Yeah, where does he toss it?
Is it real? What are we doing here? And then Chavo just says, "Hey, I'ma kill ya." What? If anybody gets involved, I'll kill ya. Okay. Super intimidating. Lieutenant Loco, I'd kill ya.
Was he trying to one-up the Human Torch match?
Man, look.
Jeez.
He was trying to keep his job, brother. He was doing the best he can. Just doing the best he could. I'd kill ya. I just didn't sound intimidating at all. But the end of the match itself was fine for whatever it was. But the end of the match, things get stupid because it's Vince Russo booking. So that Misfits in Action have this old guy that hangs out with him named Pops. Don't know why he's there.
It's supposed to be Huge Erection's father or grandfather or something.
I guess, but his name is Pops. And he comes out and he hits on Tigress. And then the Filthy Animal's like, "Hey, she's with us. Leave her alone. Da 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 da." And then Conan kind of shoves him a little bit, and then Pops grabs his chest and falls down.
Totally believable.
As if he had a heart attack.
Totally believable.
And he's out. He doesn't move. So feasibly, he is at least in the process of dying, if not currently dead. This is 2 people on the show who could have died.
Well, Lieutenant Loco
or may have died. Gonna kill a guy. Didn't know it was gonna be his own homie. He didn't account for that. But we had a person set on fire, and we have an older gentleman suffering a heart attack right in front of us. So the referee is, obviously distracted because there's a person that could potentially be deceased at ringside. We might have to call the authorities.
Everyone's just standing around.
Just standing and looking at him. His mouth is gaped open. And it just
over his body.
Is he dead? Is he alive? I'm not going to check him. Meanwhile, while the referee is back his turn, shenanigans happens. The thing is, though, the referee tries to look back a little bit to see what's happening behind him.
Like, what's my cue?
Right. And then he turns around way too soon. Because when he turns around, you can see Lash LaRue still in the ring after he done put a move on Disco. And he's putting Lieutenant Loco on top of Disco to pick up the win. And the referee sees this. And nothing happens. The animals jump in, they continue the beating, whatever. But Pops is still down at ringside. No one has helped this man.
Unconscious.
At least. Probably dead. Right? But he's still lying there. We may not have gone to the upper room by now. But do we have a doctor in the house? Can anybody save this man? Who is the one person who could save Pops from potentially traveling to the upper room? Of course it's Major Guns. Duh. She's certified as CPR. Oh, wait. No, she's not. She just stood over his body and then commences to dance and tears her shirt off over what could be a dead body. This
if he
is
dead,
straight.
at least he's watching from above and probably enjoying.
No, he'd rather be in his soul still be in his body, bro. That's Major Gun standing over him. He's trying to get his soul snatched again. All over again. But this is, you can tell this is only written by a man who's just apparently just not around women, only sees women as sex objects. Her only job is to be sexy. And she stands over him, and then she gets down and gives him mouth to mouth.
After ripping her shirt off, by the way.
After ripping her shirt off.
Yeah, she has to rip the shirt off before she starts.
She gives him mouth to mouth. And I wrote, this is horrible.
It's not working. She goes,
it
"It's not
also
working."
took forever. She had to do this
know.
like 3 times.
After the delay of starting everything, where they were standing over his body for like 2 minutes.
This took so long. And then he eventually wakes up. He shakes a little bit, and then and the moment he comes to consciousness, the moment he regains consciousness, he immediately grabs Major Guns and tries to assault her. He's a creep right away. And this is played for laughs.
It is.
I hated every second of it.
Oh, 100%.
And I wrote, the treatment of women overall in the show wasn't great. With DDP called the one interviewer a bimbo, and then Vince Russo threw the mic in her face because she did ask a wild question, though. She was like, I'm on Team Ric Flair. Woo! And he was like, whoa, like...
Not even a question. What the hell?
you the ops, too? Like, you're supposed to be an objective observer. But they still didn't treat women very well. DDP talking about Kimberly, like, that was crazy.
Yeah, Vince Russo called Charlotte a bitch. You know,
Yes, she's a 14-year-old. She's a teenager. He called the whole family the B word. Yeah. That's crazy, bro. I did think it was funny when they raided the Flair's mansion. I thought that was kind of funny. Me, personally. But, yeah, that was another disgrace, in my opinion. I'm sorry, bro. It was terrible. Horrible. But, yes, that was my worst non-wrestling happening. What about you, sir?
But, yeah, mine was the Goldberg heel turn.
Okay, we talked about that. A couple of notes that I missed from the. Well, I guess I'll talk about it now.
Do you have a hidden gem?
I do have a hidden gem.
I don't.
Because we did talk about the Vito and Johnny the Bull promo. I will talk about the match as a hidden gem.
I was thinking about it, but
the match
still
sort
didn't
of
make sense.
It's not really a gem, but also they're kind of using the Freebird rule and the hardcore title and the singles title. I don't know. Then they brought up County Jail, and Vito has County Jail on his shirt. It's weird. And then Mark Madden's just saying anything. Said the Mamalukes are like the most underrated tag team in WCW history. It's like, again, shut up, bro. Are you serious? Vito wrestles with the belt on, like you said earlier. He's too occupied with that. And that's what gets them beat. Brian Adams hit like an F5 at one point. I don't know if you noticed that.
I saw that. That was a rough landing.
It was kind of a rough landing, but I was like, oh, that looks like an F5.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was it. I mean, Chronic did their finish. They called it the high time. Get it? And then yeah, they took forever to do it, but they eventually landed it, and that was it. So yeah, that's what I had for a hidden gem. You said you didn't have any?
None.
Okay, that's
No,
fair.
I can't. There's nothing there that I could be like, hey, if watch the show, just watch this on this show. I can't do it.
That's fair. I get you. I get it. I understand. Random thoughts. I'll get this started off. WCW was giving away a inflatable raft. Hulk Hogan inflatable raft at one point. That was weird. What a strange thing to give away.
Send in your cable bill.
Yeah, and you might get an inflatable raft in the mail. Hope you like going kayaking, I guess, or rafting. I don't know. Booker T. Oh, no, not Booker T. G.I. Bro. So here's the thing. Booker T had been G.I. Bro before when he first broke into the business. Years and years ago. He eventually became Booker T and started making a lot more money. Vince Russo, not Vince McMahon. Vince Russo said, "Be G.I. Bro." Well, I guess Booker T. I think I saw somewhere it was Booker T's idea too. I don't know. No matter whose idea it was a bad one.
I don't know. Because was Booker T in a position to? Did he think he was in a position to say no to anything? Probably not.
Probably not. The thing is, he would Booker T again by next month, and he wins the world title at Bash at the Beach.
Go figure. Which we have covered, by the way, in the archives.
Yeah, we have covered that. But like, it's so bizarre. But G.I. Bro zip lines from the rafters.
Dude.
He had to put in a little extra work to get all the way down, though.
He was about
He
to get
almost got stuck in midair. He had to throw his legs up a little bit. Like, come on now, let's get down there. Let's come on. He also hit the ring and got pyro. Like, they put some production behind G.I. Bro.
Yeah. But there was like for nothing because there wasn't anything marketed. They weren't marketing anything outside of WCW with it. It wasn't like action figures. It wasn't anything. It was just this was just his character.
Booker T, by the way, never had a military background. So, but yeah, G.I. Bro, because it rhymes with Joe. Okay. Sean Stasiak, his opponent on this night. I didn't know that he essentially became Mr. Perfect. I forgot about this.
Yeah, Perfect Sean.
Perfect Sean. And he pretty much had Mr. Perfect's theme music, too.
Yep.
Which was like...
New ideas, baby. New ideas.
What are we doing? No, he's the son of Stan Stasiak, but let's make him Kurt Hennig.
Was this better or was Meat better in WWE when he was Meat?
I almost said something that was going to get me a pause, but 2 sentences that popped in my head. But I'll say, in this particular, if you give me Perfect Sean or Meat, I think Meat was the better gimmick. Because at least it's his.
Right.
It's original, sort of. Perfect Sean is not Mr. Perfect. He even said perfect in his promo before the match. Get out of here. So yeah, that was terrible. Almost every match had interference.
Yeah.
Which was just like, I know that's Vince Russo stuff, but like, come on, bro. Jesus. And the announcers, they were just like, oh, it's the relaxed rules of the New Blood. It's like, no, it's just Vince Russo and the creative team being lazy.
So
That's what it
came
is.
in September '99. So we got September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. This is his 10th month, and we're still getting like this crap.
The lax rules, huh? So many war references during the boot camp match. They said that this was G.I. Bro's D-Day, and he stormed the beach of WCW.
Mark Madden. There you go.
Mark Madden, one more time for the road. Shut up, bro. You can't do that. There are people who actually did that and they died. Real conflicts.
Beating Sean Stasiak in a boot camp match is his D-Day. Okay.
No, it's not. D-Day was back in 1944 and people died. They stormed the beaches in Normandy and they gave their lives. Booker T had a wrestling match in front of 7,000 people in Baltimore. Why do we do this? And it's you know, obviously wrestling has always kind of trivialized war, and it's really tough to watch now because what's going. Just look outside and see what's going on right now overseas between Iran and Israel, and be like, war? No, this is not good. So it's tough to hear now. Obviously, there's no way to know about this back in 2000, but it's just like, oh god. Trivialization of war back in those days was wild. Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair arrived more than an hour into the show.
Must got
for
lost.
one, I guess, or they're trying to copy what WWF was doing when they had their wrestlers show up during the show, which I also thought was stupid. I think was a good idea to show The Rock walking in at 9:45. He can't show up on time for work, apparently. So why do it in your promotion? It doesn't make any sense. You see now WWE, when they start the show, they show the wrestlers walking in, not during the show, but hours before the show, because that's what professionals do. Patrick Mahomes shows up hours ahead of the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts shows up hours ahead of the Super Bowl, not during the Super Bowl. Like,
can you imagine?
Like, doesn't make any sense. But Hogan, he's got his boa on, which I don't. He's got his gear, all his gear on for one.
Black and
But
white.
he's got black and white. He's back in black and white. But he's got a boa. Is this the first time he wore the boa?
I don't think so.
This is definitely one of the first times because he wasn't doing it when he was in the NWO, right? I don't remember that at all.
I thought he did in 98 or 99, but I
Okay.
might be wrong. But yeah, it was funny because he went back to the red and yellow in like August 99, and now he's back to
Just
Hollywood
switching it
Hulk
up.
Hogan.
Switching it up. Before this, he was just all black and like jeans, and he had the FUNB on his back. Boy.
By the way, the sign of the crowd for that, the real HHH. Oh, Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Man, you must have read my mind. 'Cause that was my next random thought. The real Triple H, Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Who did Hogan pay this guy to hold up that sign,
Probably made it himself.
or did he make it himself, which is worse? Because sir, you are in Delulu land right now. In 2000,
I don't think anyone was like wanting to be the real Triple H at this point.
I mean, but he was the guy though. He was the champ.
Yeah, but I mean,
with Steph, but like nobody was even close to that though.
right?
Like he was. This is either about Triple H's peak. It was probably 2000.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
outrageous. And my last random thought was that we did get an ad for Bash at the Beach, which eventually became a show so controversial it got its own episode of Dark Side of the Ring. So it wasn't that dark, but you know, stupid stuff was afoot. Shenanigans were afoot. Nick,
All right.
your random thoughts.
All right. This WCW logo, man, brutal.
The worst. The worst.
Could barely make out it was WCW. I read somebody on Reddit said that they didn't realize it spelled out WCW until like way later because they thought it was kind of like a logo based on Goldberg's tattoo.
Oh.
As like, you know, just kind of like the new age of WCW was.
I
Goldberg,
get that
you
it
know?
was. I get it was difficult to see, but even as a kid, I saw the C in there.
I mean,
still
I
knew
did,
it said
but
it.
it was terrible. It was
But
terrible.
no,
The set-
I agree.
The Nitro set was terrible.
Terrible.
I could never get used to it, and I was like,
I didn't
how
hate
did
the
they
sliding. I didn't hate the logo sliding open for the stage. I would say for like Nitro,
yeah, it was fine.
it would slide open. I wouldn't mind that. But this logo is horrendous.
Brutal.
Yes, very too much of the times. I think they tried really hard to be modern. Where the old WCW logo was a classic, but I think they probably looked at it as like, oh, it's old. Let's get something new
Right.
and modern and hip.
Yeah.
And they came up with this monstrosity, which is like, bruh, this looks like an arena football team's logo. And I love arena football, but they didn't always have the best logos. Yeah, this was a step down for sure. And never to be seen again, really, after this time period. Like, even when WWE bought it, they went to this red and black WCW logo, which is also terrible. Just go back to the classic WCW logo, bro. It's just a great logo. And then once they got rid of WCW with the Alliance and all that stuff, pretty much every time you see WCW, it is the classic WCW logo. So
The WCW YouTube channel is the classic WCW logo.
as
Thank
it
God.
should be,
On Peacock, it's the classic WCW logo.
as it should be, but not this one, because this one that they used was it 99, 2000?
Yeah. Well, they switched
Garbage.
in April. No, yeah, 99. They switched, yeah.
Yeah, I was watching 99, so I remember watching this terrible
They-
logo, man.
So Eric Bischoff said on his podcast that the reasoning for the change was he was being told to delegate more as an executive, and so this was one of the things he delegated and okayed it. I was like, how could you look at that and okay it?
Yeah, that's the problem. There's nothing wrong with delegating.
Like,
you
you
still saw it and
could
it's like,
say no.
that's good. He must have just been tired. It's like, whatever.
Brutal.
And also, if this was the best, what was the worst? Like, what were the other options
They
that
have.
they had?
I saw a picture on Reddit that has like all the mocks of a new WCW logo.
You got to send me that link right now.
I will send you it.
You got to send me that link
There
right
were
this second.
definitely better ones that they could have chosen.
You think so? Oh
I
man,
didn't like look close, but there was one at least that I was like, yeah, I could buy that. I wish they remained with the same logo and just maybe kind of modernize it a little bit, maybe change the color, maybe make it 3D or something.
yeah.
Because that's what a lot of people were doing in that time. But yeah, making it this logo was not it at all.
Yeah, that logo was complete garbage. And the classic I'm looking at it right now. It's such a solid logo. It's like
is.
the C is a little stylized because you don't get the entire C, but I like the line and the W's, like sharp edges.
I used to write it I used to draw it all the time. I would draw the WWF logo, draw the WCW logo.
Such a classic logo, and the 90s has a lot of good things, but like late 90s, early 2000s, everybody wanted to get on this modern kick and get away from the classic stuff, which I guess, hey, that makes sense. You want to kind of go in a new direction, but the way we did it was not great all the time.
Brutal.
Logos, sports teams, uniforms, a lot of them took a step back, bro.
Yeah.
Remember the Rams when they went from that blue and yellow to that blue and gold?
Yeah.
And it was like the blue and gold wasn't bad, but the blue and yellow was so much better.
It was.
The Pistons
it
went.
pops out.
Yeah. It just, man.
When you make things darker, they don't pop out.
Exactly. Everything just got darker and more brooding and like, oh, modern. And it just got worse, honestly. We need color. We like pizzazz and color and brightness. And it was going dark for some reason. And
I think that's why people like Kelly Green so much around Philly.
Yeah.
I mean, it pops out.
Look at the Eagles. Like you said, they went darker. Now, granted, they've had a lot of success in the Midnight Green,
Yeah.
okay? A
And it's
whole
still
lot
a
of
good-
success
it's-
in
it's
Midnight
good
Green. And it's a
color.
classic. Yeah, I think it's a look that should stay.
Yeah.
But people have a fondness for that Kelly Green because it pops, it's vibrant. It's like, as soon as you see it, it makes you go, ooh, like,
Yeah.
So I get it. The Broncos throwbacks, those orange throwbacks with the powder blue helmets, chef kiss. Seahawks with the blue and the silver helmets, mwah. They went darker though. They went darker. Also in the 2000s, went like the teal blue with the helmet. No, blue jersey, silver helmets, baby. Chef kiss out here. Let's do it. Also, uniform note for the NFL. Bills need to go back to their red helmets. I don't like the red helmets.
Yes.
Red helmets
Good
for
call.
the Bills, please.
Good call.
Let's do it that way. Any other
I
random
had a
thoughts for
Thurman
you?
Thomas figurine that had the red helmet. So,
Absolutely.
love it.
If you Bills Mafia, you should petition for this. Red helmets for the Bills. Josh Allen's great, and he's won MVP, and he's doing it all in the white helmet.
He'll do it. He'll win a Super Bowl if you change it back to red.
Don't say that. They lost 4 Super Bowls in the red, bro. can't jinx them like that. They got to get to the damn Super Bowl first. The red helmet will actually help them get to the Super Bowl. Maybe that don't mean they'll win it though.
There we go. There we
They
go.
did lose 4 in a row in the red helmets. So we can't. Sorry, Bills Mafia, if you're listening. We apologize. We apologize to the Mafia. Not that Mafia. The Bills variety. Any other random thoughts from you from the show?
yes. Did you see the poster for the pay-per-view?
Ooh, I have seen. Is it Sting and Vampiro?
Well, so
Oh no,
that's
it's
like,
DDP with a
Well,
cigar. No, hold on. I gotta see this.
It's Hulk Hogan, Vampiro, and Sid Vicious in like a cartoony.
Oh yes,
version,
that's
and
what's on Peacock. It's so bizarre.
And Sid Vicious not anywhere to be found in WCW around this time.
Yeah, that
once
must
they
be
did-
the original poster, huh?
Once,
yeah.
once they did the reset, he was gone for months. I think he came back at the end of the year. He wasn't even hurt, but once they did the reset in April of 2000, Sid was gone. And,
Okay.
yeah, so it's very, very funny that he's on there and nowhere to be found, and it would not be found for months after this.
So if you go on Wikipedia, they have a different poster, but it's
They
not
do,
a
they
poster.
do.
It's a VHS cover.
Yes.
So, okay, Sting and Vampiro on that.
Yeah.
But yes, I did see the cartoon thing, and that was on Peacock too, and I always thought that was bizarre because, like, again, everything is going really dark, and yet we got this illustration as the poster. Okay, we got a Human Torch match on this show.
Kitty, it was like
Yeah.
they wanted to get away from the Kitty stuff, but they still needed to be a Kitty stuff because they were still a Time Warner company.
And also, Hogan is in the red and yellow on that poster.
Yes,
So
it's just-
all over the place.
it's just wild.
All over the place.
We had Ric Flair trying to get his family to crotch chop Vince Russo.
And that was great.
David Flair, and the women were just not interested in doing the crotch chop.
Classy ladies.
Him and Reed are just crotch chopping the hell on the ramp.
That's my boy.
I'm sure that's what. And he's like,
Right.
Rick's looking back to be like, "Come on, ladies, come on."
I know
crotch
Rick
chop."
was real proud. Like, that's my boy.
The ladies were not partaking, so I thought that was kind of funny. We had Mark Madden call. I hate Kevin Nash being like, I need to be called by nicknames by the commentators. Like, he was pushing everyone to call him Big Sexy, the Giant Killer, and all this stuff for like all of 98 into 99. And Tony Schiavone would always call him Big Sexy. And here, Mark Madden calls him the Sexecutioner.
The Sexecutioner, I heard that.
I did a double take. I rewound it. I was like, wait a second.
One more time.
Dude.
Shut up, Mark Madden. Are you serious on that? The Sexecutioner?
The Sexecutioner. I don't. What are we doing?
Sounds
Why
like a
is
stripper
Kevin
name.
Nash doing this? Because I'm
Is he a
sure-
stripper? Is he a
I'm sure
Magic
he's
Mike?
like, Yo, you guys should call me this.
Sexecutioner. That'd be dope. That'd get the people going.
Oh my
Should put that on a shirt.
dude! I'm so. so
WCW
annoyed.
in 2000 was a doozy, boy. Any other random thoughts from you?
Yeah, no, I think we hit on everything. I did think in the main event, another callback to Over the Edge '98, where Vince McMahon's the special ref, Pat Patterson's the special ring announcer, or Jared Briscoe's the timekeeper. That stuff. It's like Vince Russo's. He did all his WWF ideas in WCW,
But worse.
and that's what annoyed me about it. It's like I'm not seeing anything new. I'm seeing everything for a second time. It made it feel second rate. It's like that. Like, where are the new ideas?
Didn't have any.
Where's the new stuff? And that to make WCW seem like an alternative instead of like a joke. And I think that was him, Vince Russo, just doing the same ideas differently with different people was not obviously grounds for success. It was
His
really
time,
annoying.
he was perfect for that mid to late 90s time when there was people were rebelling on TV. And I guess people are still doing it by 2000, but by 2000 we had seen it from him already.
Yeah.
It's like we had seen Jerry Springer already. By 2000 it wasn't quite the same as it was like 97 because we had saw it already. Even though Jerry Springer was on the air for years and years after that. And rest in peace to Jerry Springer and Reed Flair. I shouldn't have said that earlier too. Rest in peace to Reed Flair as well. But yeah, he was perfect for that time, but like we had been there and done that by 2000. We needed something, like you said, something new or something different wrinkles, and you just didn't get that. We got the same thing, but with either talent that wasn't as over or just executed worse.
Yeah.
And that's what we get from WCW in 2000.
One more note. Ric Flair would not be retired at Great American Bash 2000. Guess when he would be retired? The next
2020
night on Nitro.
Oh yeah, when Vince Russo did it.
Vince Russo and David Flair beat Ric Flair. Because you see Russo threaten him, I will retire your ass tomorrow night on Nitro.
Yep.
And he did. Well, technically, I guess. But
Man.
Rick would come back in 2001, obviously, to have that last match with Sting at the last Nitro. He was there in 2001. But yeah, he was gone like the rest of the year after the next night on Nitro.
I guess that was Vince trying to move on from the vets, right? He's like, look, I got to get him out of here. So, Rick, you got to go. But the problem is Rick was upset by that. And Rick wasn't ready to hang him up. Clearly wasn't ready to hang him up because even in 08, he wasn't ready to hang him up. Yeah. And in 2022, he probably, in 2025, probably still isn't ready to hang him up. But it was a bad decision. Like, do something different with Rick. He's still a name, still has value. Sure, you don't want him to be the world champion anymore, but like, just still treat him with some respect as far as like how you present him. I do think, I'm not like a big Ric Flair fan, but I do think it was kind of disrespectful what they were trying to do to him.
Oh yeah.
In some ways, he was a huge star, 16-time world champ, the whole nine, and yet in WCW, after like once Bischoff and people took over, he got kind of treated weird after that. It was kind of weird at multiple points in his time in WCW post Eric Bischoff. Yeah. And post like the booking committee in the early 90s. It was always weird with him. And I never understood quite why. Maybe it was some of his doing, maybe it was WCW's doing, I don't know. But it was always really strange. And I think this is another instance of that, where you're trying to kick him out over and over again, and Vince Russo's the one to retire him? Okay. Don't disrespect me like that. Like, come on, bro. I'm Ric Flair, like, at the end of the day. Like, that's kind of wild. So, but yeah, that is the Great American Bash from the year 2000.
Follow me at _Picone on Twitter and TikTok. Follow me at Picone Nick on Threads and at Picone on Blue Sky. You can follow us at Shooters Radio on Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, and we're at shootersradio.com and shooterspod.com. You can check me out at crossingbroad.com as well.
All right. I am at Vaughn M. Johnson on X, at Vaughn Johnson 166 on IG, at Vaughn Johnson on Blue Sky and Threads. You can check me out there. I think I'm on actually at Vaughn Johnson 166 on Blue Sky too. No, on Blue Sky on Threads as well. But you can check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/shootersradio, where you can request a future deep dive just like this one. And when you do, you can make a cameo on the show that we're diving deep into. Once again, patreon.com/shootersradio.
I'm gonna scrutinize you to the fullest, pasteurize you, homogenize you, and synchronize you back into morality.